Hello everyone, I'm Noah and this is the Hidden Comics for the week of November 27th, 2013. Alrighty, so once again CJ is out and the show is currently being hosted by me. CJ is beginning with a brand new review show, so be on the lookout for that, but he'll still be doing a history of comic heroes, so don't you worry. So this week we're reviewing Spawn 237 from Image Comics and The Star Wars, Issue 3 from Dark Horse. So we'll start off with a surprisingly short issue of Spawn. Now previously, Jim Downing, the current Hellspawn, has been struggling to try and piece together his past, as he has been since he debuted in the series. And meanwhile, Blood, the evil vampire who Jim has been working with, has met up with Clown, you know, the crazy, weird Violator guy, you know who I'm talking about, Spawn fans. And basically, Blood and Clown have formed an uneasy alliance, while Blood and Jim also have an uneasy alliance, and some girl named Victoria's in the mix, who apparently Blood was so much in love with that he turned her into a vampire. Still a better love story than Twilight, but that's not hard to do. So as we join Jim Downing, he's trying to drown himself and the symbiote costume, aka the Spawn costume, because he feels its power is taking him over and allowing him to fall from grace. But then he's suddenly rescued by Cogliostro, Al Simmons, the original Spawn's old mentor. Cogliostro says that he will help Jim, and that it's not a trap, but that he wants to show him something. And so, Cogliostro helps Jim by banishing away the symbiote and allows him to simply bring back the costume. And there's a nice little joke about Jim being hopeful, since Cogliostro used to be a Hellspawn, that it won't be a permanent gig for him. However, once they enter a mysterious doorway, Jim is about to find out a secret that may tip the scales of war in either heaven or hell's favor. And it's all up to his decision, and what he plans to do with this mysterious new find he's made. Now, it was definitely a very short story. I was honestly surprised. I thought it would be, usually Spawn is a little longer. But this was short, but very good. Very well written. It's nice to see Cogliostro back after all this time. I wish we could have seen more of him and Jim's interaction leading up to this big reveal. But, I guess they're prepping for something big in the pages of the upcoming issues. Once again, Todd McFarlane does some pretty good writing, and the artist Szymon Kudranski does some really beautiful work, making every panel almost seem like a painting in and of itself. I mean, this is seriously some of the best digital artwork I've ever seen. And this is something that, would take forever to do by hand. And this is one of the benefits of having digital art in the comic book industry today. And I just freaking love the pictures and the images in this issue. It pops off the page. I mean, it has that Todd McFarlane style to it. But it's at the same time, it's just something completely different and so elegantly made. So really, I picked this book up just for the art, if I was you, but considering that this is such a short story and there's really not a whole lot of big character development, especially considering we brought back one of the main characters from the book since its inception, I'd give this a Netflix, or at the very least, bargain bin. If you see it for, on sale, pick it up, unless you're heavily following the series like I am. Moving on, it's time for Star Wars. Oh wait, it's not that Star Wars. It's the Star Wars, Issue 3. And this is actually a comic series adapted from George Lucas's original rough draft screenplay, which not a whole lot of people in the world have ever read. So this is a lot of people's first time experiencing it. And how is it? It's actually pretty good. For a rough draft screenplay, it's not bad. It's wildly different from what we know as the original New Hope, though. I mean, first of all, R2-D2 can actually talk instead of going beep, 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 beep. And C-3PO is actually kind of a badass. He actually, when he and R2 get into an argument in the beginning, he picks up that droid, freaking hurls him like he was just some common trash can, and basically calls him a bitch, basically. So yes, 3PO is kind of badass. I wish this was the kind of guy we got in the Star Wars movies, but hey, you know what? Anthony Daniels, he makes that character funny. So I'm good with either 3PO. And of course, we have Anakin Starkiller. Not the Starkiller from the Force Unleashed games. Get that out of your mind right now. This is the original version of Anakin Skywalker. There's also General Skywalker, whose actual name is Luke. Spoiler alert. So Luke is not actually the protagonist of the story. He's an old Jedi general, which is actually pretty cool because that's probably what he's going to be in Episode 7 by now, anyway. And of course, Princess Leia in there, and she's a lot more. Well, she was always headstrong in the movies, but she's a lot more. I guess she's kind of younger, more teenaged. You know, a little bit more spunky. I guess kind of hard to put this into words, but. And we actually get to see her parents, or more specifically, her mother and her and her brothers. So yeah, there's actually a bit of a family dynamic going on with Leia, and it's pretty clear that she's probably not related to the Skywalkers in this version, since I'm pretty sure they never figured that out until Return of the Jedi, even when they were writing the trilogy. And apparently we're also going to get to meet Han Solo next issue. And word has it, he's not the Han Solo that we know from the movies at all. But hopefully he still shoots first. Am I right, people? Come on. Greedo couldn't shoot first. He's too much of a wuss. He works for Jabba. I mean, come on. What bounty hunter or mercenary works for a fat slug? And, of course, we get to see Stormtroopers. And their designs, based on this cover, they're pretty awesome. I mean, I'm not knocking the Stormtroopers from the movies. Like, these look more like early, more armored-up versions of them. But they're pretty nice. But the one complaint I have about this comic, Darth Vader's design. More specifically, one central part of it, if you know what I mean. This to indicate what is wrong with Darth Vader's design in this rough draft screenplay version of him. Yeah, it shocked me. I just couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped when I was reading this. So yeah, you have to see it to believe it, folks. It's crazy. But anyway, I definitely give this a go out and buy it now. You should definitely go pick up the previous 2 issues of this, issues 1 and issues 2. Because this is just, really, it's something that we've never really seen before. It's a completely different Star Wars, and yet it's the Star Wars that really came first. I mean, if you're a fan, or just any level of fan of a Star Wars, you know, this is a great book for younger readers and older readers alike. There's not a whole lot, there's no real blood at all, even though some guy gets cut in half in this issue, spoilers. That was a pretty awesome moment. I mean, it's a great book to get your kids into, even. So yeah, go out and buy the Star Wars issue 3 now, and pick up the other 2 issues so you can get caught up. Because it's definitely not the same story. It has hints of what the story would become, but it's not the same. So it's been another great week for comics, and I am Noah, and this is the Hidden Comics for the week of November 27th, 2013.